Hello Stampers, this is Susan from Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a card for you today that we're going to be doing at Pampered Stamper this month of March. It's using the High Tide set and the Lots of Labels framelets. So this is a fun new set that's in the Spring Occasion catalog. And we're going to be doing a watercolor wash technique on the background. So I'm going to show you how I use my aqua painter to create that on watercolor paper. And let's get started. So, here is my kit. I'm using very vanilla because the watercolor paper has that vanilla tint to it. Go ahead and fold my base. That's going to be my crumb cake for my second layer. So here is my watercolor paper. And I'm going to take my aqua painter, and it's clean, so I'm just going to squeeze some water into that tip so it's good and wet. I'm just going to put some clean water on my background just to get that paper a little bit ready, those fibers to wake up to grab the ink when I apply the ink to it in just a second. Now I've taken my ink pads and added some re-inker dots to the lid. So now I'm just going to take my aqua painter and I'm going to add a drop of water from my aqua painter right to that ink in there, and this is the crumb cake. And so I'm going to create a watercolor wash background. So my crumb cake is going on the bottom to be my stand. So slightly in from the edge, I'm just going to go back and forth with my aqua painter. And depending on how much ink you pick up and how wet your brush is will depend on how bleached out the color gets. And if you want more color, you can always go right over the top with more color and add it into the shading, and you can even go back and do that after it's been dry a while. So I'm also trying to leave a little bit of an edge on the watercolor paper, so I'm kind of framing in my watercolor wash here. So that was crumb cake. Now I'm going to use Marina Mist in the middle, and I've just brushed my aqua painter clean on my paper, and I'm going to do the same thing. Start over again. I'm going to grab some of that Marina Mist. It really is one of my favorite blues, and I don't use it enough. And the same thing, I'm going to wash the color across, side to side. I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of pooling up on top of that paper because I pre-wet it. And I'm going to try to leave a space between these two colors, but if they go together, then so be it. So, and then again, I'm just going to come down and extend my edges a little bit to where I want them. So, there's my Marina Mist. And my last color here is Pool Party. So I'm re-wetting that with some water from the end of my pen. And then just going to repeat one more time that Pool Party color on this top section. As you can see, I didn't grab as much ink as I thought because it was petering out on me. And my paper is starting to curve up a little bit, but when we put our adhesive on the back and press it down, it should stay put. So I'm not worried about that. And as you can see, I've just gone back over it where it was a little bit lighter than I wanted it to be. And I'm brushing towards the center just so that if my water runs, it's running away from the edges. So, just like that, we've created a watercolor wash background. Pretty simple. So now, we're going to let that dry while we work on our other element. So I've already cut a piece of Very Vanilla and the Marina Mist with my second largest framelit from the framelit set, Lots of Labels. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp right on here with the lighthouse image. And I'm stamping the lighthouse image in crumb cake, and it really fits between the curves on this label. Pressing that down. Okay. Then I'm going to use the Marina Mist to get my words next to it. Just like that. Okay. So now we're going to take our Marina Mist piece. We're actually going to cut it in half. We've done this before, but we put that in half. I'm going to add some snail to the back of my tag here. And then by cutting it in half, I can extend it up and down a little bit. I'm going to try and line up those sides. Just press that down and then do the same thing on the other end. Okay, so now that's lined. Okay, then I'm going to take a piece of linen thread and I'm going to wrap it around the bottom. So again, I'm going to add some snail across the back. Make sure it's not on the front. And I'm just going to take the end of my twine and I'm going to stick it down to that snail, and then I'm just going to wrap it around until it runs out. So I get about 3 or 4 wraps on that. And I'm just pressing that into the snail in the back, and then I'm going to trim off this little extra tail. Okay, so we have a little bit of embellishment there. Linen thread, but it kind of gives us that beachy nautical theme. And then I've got these lace doilies. Now if I just put that lace doily behind there like that, we'd see very little of it. So again, I'm going to take this and cut it in half. And instead of attaching it to the back and guessing, I'm going to show you how I put that together. So here's my card base, Marina Mist. And here's my crumb cake. And we're going to just put that right down on the top. Try to line that up as best I can all the way around. Alright, and then this is dry enough to work with. I like the way those colors came out. So I'm going to put snail, probably more than you're used to seeing me use. But I want to make sure that watercolor paper stays put. So that gets framed inside of the crumb cake. And you can flip that over and give it a good press so all that adhesive makes contact. Okay, so now I've got these doily pieces. Okay, and I have to make sure that this doily is inside the frame of my card. So I know, snail on the front of my card. It's okay, we're going to cover it up, it'll be fine. A little strange for me too, but I know my tag is going there. Put another snail light there, and then I'm just going to separate it a little bit. Trying to make it symmetrical, but I opened it up a little bit by separating it. Then I'm going to take dimensionals. Okay, and I'm peeling those off. And this piece is going to sew right over the top of that doily. And there you go. There's our card. So, and then on the envelope, I decided to use the Shorebirds stamp. I think this time I'll put them on the front with the imprint in them. There we go. So, there you have it. That's one of our Pampered Stamper cards for the month of March. I know some of you have this set already, so I hope you're playing with it and enjoying it. And if I see you at Pampered Stamper, we'll make this card together. So until next time, happy stamping!